Welcome to Chef Alli's Farm Fresh Kitchen. It's time to gather around the table to cook and converse. Right here, we'll come together to learn about Kansas agriculture and the farm families that feed us as we discover new recipes, Kansas products, and farm fresh ingredients.
Good morning and welcome back to 13 News. This morning it is one of the 2 times a month that I wear an apron. That's when Chef Alli's here in our Kansas Farm Bureau segment is on the air.
It's 24 times a year.
Otherwise, no apron for me.
All right.
I just cook. I'm a rebel cook, I guess is what I should say. When
You're just one of these, you just wipe it all over your shirt? All right, whatever.
I open the microwave, stick it in, and then pull it out of the microwave, no worries.
Okay, yeah,
but
you don't need an
Sarita,
apron.
Yeah, Sarita Blankenship was with us. She's with Kansas Farm Bureau. She's the Safety and Ag Education Manager. You're here to talk about, you got some props with you today. These are all about the educational workshops that you guys are going to be having, right?
I do, and we are holding Be Ag-Wise workshops in January and February of 2016. These are resources that people will receive when they attend. This isn't all the resources either, but the focus of these workshops is to educate educators, whether they be professional educators or volunteers in their communities. The topic this year is energy and agriculture. So in the morning we'll feature several lesson plans that deal with that topic, and then at lunch we'll have a lunch and a solar dessert.
S'mores.
Solar s'mores.
Solar s'mores,
cool.
yes. We'll build a solar oven and make s'mores for dessert for lunch. And then in the afternoon, we'll talk about pollinators and My American Farm, which is the American Farm Bureau's website that has a ton of resources and games and just all sorts of stuff.
Lots of eye-opening things. We take a lot of stuff for granted. When we just go to the store and we buy stuff, and we're like, oh, it's always going to be there on the shelves. But, you know, agriculture and farming are so important and vital to just life that we live, period. And these are, I'm sure, going to be very eye-opening for everybody to learn about exactly where these come from and how we can help and incorporate everything.
I think it's also eye-opening when we find out how much less energy and resources we're actually using on the farm comparatively. I think a lot of times we tend to think, oh, we're just using more and more, but really it's much less, and it's cool when you get to see how farmers, what do we call that, sustainability? I mean, obviously if you're a farmer, you're sustainable, or we wouldn't still be eating, you know? So speaking of eating, we need to get to the food part of this segment, and that is the holiday trifle. Okay, so to make a trifle, which Sarita said not the same thing as a truffle, totally 2 different things. These are individual trifles here. So that's the cool thing about making a trifle. If you have a small intimate group for the holiday, you can make little ones, or if you've got big groups, like usually I do, you can use a large trifle bowl like this. But a trifle has to start out with a nice cake. So I was going to give a couple good tips, because there's nothing more disappointing than having somebody put a slice of cake on your plate and it's all dry and crumbly.
Oh, tell me
you're
about
expecting
it. That is
this
the
moist,
pitch.
wonderful thing.
Right.
So when you're baking a cake, one of the most important things, and that my grandma Lucille taught me this, when it comes out of the oven, the second it comes out, put a piece of foil over the top of your cake pan so that all that heat from the cake goes back down into the cake, that condensation, and that will almost always guarantee that you will have a perfectly moist cake. And so a trifle is built like this, probably not as messy as this, but you know, we're kind of under a time restriction here. So our cake's gonna go, and then this is our mint filling that I created with cream cheese. This is a cream cheese mint trifle. So this would be our next layer, and I'll just kind of dollop that in there for the sake of it. But you would spread that out, and then the next layer is going to be our mint cookies that are going to go like this. So this will be all layered in our trifle dish, just like these individual ones are.
Nice, adorable.
Yes, so there'll be 2 different recipes available at Chef Alli's Farm Fresh Kitchen. You can get that. And also go to the Facebook page, because there's always something very special there. And Sarita, if you would tell one more time where people can find out about your workshops, that would be great.
They can find out about our workshops on www.kfb.org.
Awesome.
And if they would like to register, there is a $50 registration fee that includes all materials and lunch. And that website is www.kfb.org/beagwise.
Be Ag-Wise.
Money well spent.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Very, very good information there. Sarita, thanks so much.
Thank you.
Alli, thanks so much.
No, thank you.
I'm not going to touch
Thanks
these.
for wearing my apron.
Actually, I am going to touch these, but it's going to ruin me for the rest of the day. I'll be right back.
Thanks for joining us. Kansas Farm Bureau is proud to support hardworking families across the state, like farmers and ranchers who make it their life commitment to provide food that nourishes all of us. Kansas Farm Bureau, representing grassroots agriculture.